live. We are here on Loose Lines, back together. Hello, Troy Harley.
How's it going?
Very, very good.
Nice to see you back in the country.
It's good, actually. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Well, yeah.
Tell the truth.
No, it is good. It's very good to be home back here in the land of the living. I must say, it was a lot of fun, though, over in New Zealand. I got to meet and greet a lot of people that were, it was good fun, actually.
You covered some territory in a couple, 3Ks?
Yeah, saw some countryside, and I had this conversation with you a little bit earlier on in the day, but more or less about I think a lot of people need to do the day, need to do the week, but they've got to plan for a fortnight, because I arrived on the Monday over there, and more or less I could fill yourself and your mates day in with racing, harness racing and greyhound racing, wall to wall, including what I thought was, trial day. They have it on the Wednesday at Addington, and I thought, oh yeah, and trials here in Victoria are pretty ho-hum, and I must say Mick Stanley was ready to go to sleep because they took about 4 hours. But the greyhound guys and the buy-in, and I think that's just the beauty of it, the greyhound guys were there watching the fast class trial, which was holding them up because they actually started running late.
Yep.
And they had their Addington, they had the New Zealand Cup heats, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They're ready to be run, but they didn't. No one that I saw cared.
Yeah.
They were like, "No, this trial's got to happen." Then that trial happened, and the dogs went straight out for the stirrup. They waited till the horses come off because it is inside, and unlike here, even when they're inside, like Cranbourne's and those, no outside fence and no stirrup area. So it's quite a unique area, Addington, for the greyhounds. So yeah, it was very, very different, but a lot of fun.
It's good to see the 3Ks work together with a whole promotion for the week.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I did an interview. I don't know, some people have watched just about everything I did, but I did one with Tony Hart early on when I was there, and it was legit. I told you about this dog, didn't I?
You had no idea it was him, did you?
No. This dog called Postman Pat. I'd been telling Hales about him. I said, it's a freak. It's so fast. Random interview that a bloke had lined up for me, and here it is. And it's this Tony Hart, who is the trainer of it. Then went on and won its next start. Then I went there to do an interview at Addington. Must have been Thursday night. I got every day blurred into one, but I think it was the day before show day. Unfortunately, he got beat, but got beat by his other dog in Big Daddy. Yeah. So I think it was a Thursday night. So. Ripping dog, a lot of fun, and really, really good to see.
He wouldn't come on the second time. You just throw mud at the foreman, wouldn't he?
Yeah, they were all giving him a hard time. Amanda Bray is on. Cam's not on just yet. Amanda, Amanda is Cam's better half. She follows everything. She would have seen Cam's name pop up. She'd have been like, "What's he up to?"
It'd be a monstrous better half, like a massive gap.
So much better. I don't know how he's batting way above his average. Don't worry about that. And I'm not sure how she's still sticking to him. Charlton Harness Racing Club as well, and anyone else. Please get involved. It is early now. That's the worst part. This time of year, it does get a bit earlier as far as, well, it's the same time. I know what you're going to say. You're going to correct me. Rightfully so. I've enjoyed doing it by myself. Do you know that? Because I rub it by myself. And when I say something wrong, it doesn't matter. We'll get back out in the field. And I was a little bit annoyed. Jack R. Joyce, g'day to you. You said today about doing it at the greyhound track, and I didn't have enough stuff in the car to be able to do it. But, we've got to get back out and do those. We're going to do one, actually, in a tease.
December?
Yep. Dual codes.
Yep.
Friday night at Bendigo. We'll be live.
Speaking of dual codes, how good was Halloween to see it back? I mean, obviously after the COVID break, but it was pretty. It was much bigger than what I thought it'd be first year back. It was probably in the middle of the three that I've had so far. Like, started off good, was great, then it was ridiculously good, but it was great the other night.
I was a little bit flat because I actually was there, but I was on the edge of tipping over, if you like, and but it was huge. It was a huge crowd, and I know Bendigo. I know talking to the Harness Club, they couldn't believe the people that went up there. So I imagine because the greyhounds, it's twofold because everyone goes through those gates, and they hang around down low, so it would have been massive. How Charlton handled it? His first one, he would have been like,
he got a good running with the Cup night, even though the weather was bad and everyone was flooded in. Cup night was obviously pretty big as well, and I think the bar staff got a shock to the system on Cup night, but they were prepared for Halloween night, but. Christmas night, you get good weather, and after the last two events pretty much have been, not washed out, but dampened the spirits a little bit because of what's happened. If we get a good 3 or 4 weeks leading into that Christmas being, it'll be huge.
Cup meeting, unfortunately, was just a shocker, wasn't it? I mean, it was cold, scrawling showers,
and still, buddy. You were talking about the showers. There's no showers.
It was computers outside.
We told you there was no showers. We're back that winter again. No rain. But it was just it was a big bet. It was a big night regardless. But how good could it have been with Kate and Jess singing out the back and stuff?
That was sensational. And singing with no one. I felt bad.
If the weather had held off, that just could have been anything. But I think it'll be a similar setup next year, and Hopefully it doesn't take me an hour and a half to get there instead of 20 minutes.
No, well, but that would have happened a lot for a lot of people.
100%,
A lot of people had the same issue, is because they lost the roads.
The roads,
and it was fresh.
Yeah, it was.
It was bitterly cold, wasn't it?
We're only just talking about last night, and a couple of mates talking about the weather changes and that, and who'd have thought that you'd be wearing an overcoat to the Bendigo Cup in October. A couple of weeks later, you walk around in a T-shirt and shorts thinking borderline putting aircon on for the dogs in the kennels, and then last night it was a fire job.
And a frost. Severe frost here this morning.
Well, I mean, as you know, I'd come from the Hunter Valley. Salamander Bay was burning 2 weeks ago in a bushfire, and then now got snow and sleet only an hour and a half away.
And the people in Cowra and those surrounding areas as well, our hearts go to them guys.
Absolutely.
Cam Bray, who is coming on later on, he sent me a photo. We actually stopped. It really sinks home. We stopped and got fuel at a place. Daniel Hibberd's online. He's no. It was, I think it was at Cowra because we're going through to Bathurst. I'm just trying to find where it is. The great man. He sends me a lot of stuff. He's sitting there. So yeah. So that picture there, we filled up, and you can't see there's Bowsers.
Yep. And
that's where we were.
Yeah,
so and that one, I don't know which way to go. No. Don't ask what that is, Hales. It's a very random one, but we sometimes. Oh no, it's actually a picture, but yeah, you can see the racetrack. Right, that's the Gallops track, which is still above water, but everything else is underwater. Not great TV. People can't see that. That's for sure, but that doesn't matter. Right, we're going to get Daniel Hibberd on, and we are going to pretty much be talking greyhounds for the first 20 minutes, half an hour. But don't forget, all of my sponsors. I can't thank them enough for bringing this show to me. Where is his name, Troy Harley? It's not.
Either on a D or H, take your pick.
It's not here. No, I spelled it wrong. I spelled it wrong, and you should never do that.
Start with D and H, surely.
Yeah, it does. Hang on one sec. You can keep going on the show. I've got to turn his volume up for when he comes on.
Yeah, that's great. It's great stuff. So Dan called, obviously, Bendigo today. He'll be calling Melbourne Cup heats this Saturday night, and the final, obviously, the following week. He had his first big calling was the Melbourne Cup last year, and actually he produced a dead heat. So had a ballot for the finals last year when I think it was Typhoon Seppi actually dead heated. They missed out on the final. So
Bendigo Cup winner.
He ran second last year the Bendigo Cup, then won the Melbourne Cup and got balloted out. He's won the Bendigo Cup this year. He flew in a 500 at Bendigo last Friday. He's in he goes around in the race 10, the 6th on Saturday night. So he would want another dead heat, would you?
No. Are you there, Daniel?
I am.
Very, very good. Before I whacked your melon up onto the picture, I thought I'd better make sure you are actually there. I could hear the background in the middle. How was Bendigo today, very quickly?
Yeah, good card. Obviously the Tier 3 meeting, so the lower end greyhounds, but it was pretty competitive, and some couple of good wins. There was one earlier in the day, one of the maiden, I think it was, won by about 10.5 lengths, so it was a pretty big performance, but it was a good Wednesday afternoon meeting at Bendigo.
Yeah, those lower class meetings the last couple of weeks have produced some pretty slick efforts. Obviously, dogs getting back in grade and getting confident, but there's been quite a few 24-0 and 24-10 wins, which are a couple of tenths below the time standard. So the quality of ground at the moment getting around Bendigo at both ends, top end, bottom, is pretty good.
Yeah, well, the one that I marked as my best of the day was a dog called Militant Storm, who only had 3 starts, and it's certainly a lot better than Tier 3 grade. It went 23-9, so gives you an idea of how good it appears to be. Obviously going to be working its way through the classes, but it was a really hot run this afternoon.
Daniel, last week you got to call the shootout, much build hype around it. Firstly, how did you handle the hype and the build-up, mate?
Yeah, well, I was all right until they sort of went behind the boxes, and then I pretty much shit myself. So it was, I just didn't want to get too bloody carried away, and in the end, I probably did a little bit. So it's a lesson learned, and we'll just try and tone it back a touch. It's going to be hard given the races on Saturday night, but it was a pretty amazing race there on Saturday.
Mate, if we come for a Christmas barbecue, we're not expecting salad to be served up either. Is that right? Going off that call you produced last week.
Oh, I don't like salad. You don't win friends with salad, so it's just meat all the way when you go to a barbecue.
So you told
him. He was very good. He was very good too.
You've hidden it a bit that you don't like salads much, Daniel.
I like salads. Just don't make it public.
Mate, our Stuart Tanner from New Zealand is on side. Justin Lane, what about the flyer, Daniel?
Yes, Absolute Flyer won today. There's quite a few Twitter followers in that dog. I think one V Baker might be in that greyhound.
I got some scoop about him too. But this dog's won a few, hasn't he?
He's won two.
I think
he won two now.
Yeah, he was a really good performance today. He began well. He sort of settled second and then overhauled them and was too good. So I think they're going to have a little bit of fun with it. I think they might have it. Have they got shares in It's Luigi as well?
Yeah, they got a couple. They got a couple between them.
Is Justin Lane in the ownership?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Hales is onto
I'll
it.
check Bakes' Bakes have it on his Twitter account. I'll check Bakes' tweet.
Well, Justin could even tell us there as he gets in. Bit of a scoop. I had the mother-in-law ring me, and not mine, Bakes'.
Oh, Bakes'.
Yeah, St Arnaud Cup on Sunday, and they've asked me to MC it because one B Baker, not attending.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she's not sure where they're going. And she's mortified, but B Baker, and unlike him to miss an opportunity with a microphone in his hand.
Well, I can assure you, wherever he's going, you'll read about it at some stage.
Yeah.
On Twitter, and there'll be a Melbourne bidder involved.
Yeah, Lane 1474. That is Justin Lane on Twitter.
Rouse,
so he is in there. Yeah, Tim Scanlon. So a lot of those guys. Mick Foot, Running Undies. At Running Undies. Leon Underwood. Yep. I think he used to be in and Jake Webster. I reckon that is. Webster, not sure who Webster is. No, that's from Bendigo. Not sure who Webster is. That's one for you, Hales.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's a greyhound trainer, but anyway, so yep, yeah. But anyway, good luck to the guys and well done. And you can't tell Justin Lane joins in, but they're all converting to the greyhounds.
Oh, well, it's the Crosscape promotion involvement's been there for so long, but obviously the greyhounds now, it's a nice compared to the free codes. It's a pretty cheap way to get into the sport. Obviously, whatever you spend is the level you spend into, but you have a bit of fun with these dogs, and they're copping $1,000 to win today. They're going around again next Saturday morning at Shepparton. They'll back up twice a week, pretty much while they stay sound, and no further cost once you get involved. So it's a good idea, and obviously, particularly Bakes and the boys, nice and social, and you can get involved.
But they help it by getting it on Twitter.
100%.
Justin Lane chiming in here now as well.
Yep.
Is it Sam Webb trains it? I think it is.
Yeah, he does.
So so he gets a bit of promotion out of it. Well done on him. Daniel, I want you to.
Yes.
I want you to put the call into your head, how long the build-up and that was, because I'm actually going to throw to your race because I think it was terrific. I can't zip you, so I just need you not to say anything while the race is on. When one of us talks and comes back, all right, this is properly edited, this is. I'm just going to throw to your race, and we're going to come back and talk about not only this dog, but She's a Pearl and the other two beaten brigade, if we can, very quickly. But we'll throw to the race right now.
Best time of 28.82. The track record, for reference, is 28.790, held by Aston Rupee, and they're moving in. Race number 9, the shootout, the green light. Set to run. Ready. Racing. Fast out, She's a Pearl. She's a Pearl led easily from Photo Man. On the outside, McInerney. Wow, she's fast as sticking to the rail and driving through. She's a Pearl leads the way. They went 5.08 to the first marker. She's a Pearl. Here comes Wow, she's fast. Right behind it. Out deep was Photo Man and McInerney. She's a Pearl leads the length. Wow, she's fast has got the inside. Drive through. Races away. Wow, she's fast. Wow, she's fast by 4. Beat She's a Pearl. A photo between Photo Man and McInerney. McInerney will get it. The gallop is 29 and 25. Wow.
It's the two highest profile grounds in the country. The two girls against the two boys, and the New South Wales visitor led clear. The superstar who's been around there a million times and holds the track record. Proved too strong. The call was outstanding. The race was outstanding. The build up to the shootout was as big as it's ever been, I think, in the history of the race. And I think Dan lived up to it.
Yeah, it was, we've sort of been looking forward to this race for about, with the best part of 8 months, basically, since, She's Fast won the Phoenix at the end of last year, and then She's a Pearl sort of really came onto the scene at the start of this year, and then, all I wanted was, we just wanted to have a match race, and, I was, in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, how good would it be at Sandown, but I just didn't think it was ever going to happen because of, the fact that they'd probably have it at more of a neutral venue, which might have been the Meadows or anything like that. But for it to pan out like it did, with them coming down to, running the shootout rather than going a trial or just a solo trial. They thought, well, we might as well race for 50 grand, or if at worst 7.5. So the way the race panned out, for them to draw 1 and 3, I mean, it just made it, and it was really thrilling to call it. And I did probably get a bit carried away, but I guess it adds to it a little bit, and it makes it more interesting going forward into these heats on Saturday night.
I mean, She's a Pearl's the highest stakes earner in history now, greyhound racing history, and between the two of them, they've banked, I think, over $2.5 million between them for the bad pair.
Nah, the build-up was one thing that, I actually didn't think there was any other dogs in it, and then you find out there's 2 other dogs, and I'm thinking, geez, that's a bit unfair. But it actually all worked out that way. The other 2 dogs were great dogs because they ran first and second in the Top Gun, did they not?
Yeah, so they got in because they won the Top Gun and won the $1 million chase. So, I mean, McInerney and Photo Man, they won those 2 Group 1 races, and in the clause of the race, actually probably not taking anything away from those 2, but the dogs that were numbers 9 and 10, that were the reserves, on paper probably would have made it a more interesting race. Again, they were a couple of tenths faster than those 2 dogs. Not that they're not good dogs, but the way the clauses were, you won the $1 million chase and you won the Top Gun, they get in, and the other 2 positions are filled by the other greyhounds, which obviously is going to be a track record holder, and the other $1 million chase winner in She's a Pearl. So, I mean, the timing of the race has switched around now, obviously being a week before the Melbourne Cup heats helped to get She's a Pearl here.
Yep.
And she'll no doubt improve. But they've been talking about a match race now for a couple of months about whether to go ahead and how we could do it or not. And there was some conjecture that wouldn't happen because there's too much money on offer to go and throw more money at a match race, but they didn't have to. They put on pretty much as a Group 3 race, and you got the number 1 and 2 dogs in the country in it.
Yeah, so programming, and you say about...
The schedule's just everything. The schedule fell into place. I mean, the shootout's been early in the carnival, it's been at the end of the carnival, it's been everywhere. It just happened to be where it was, and that was just perfect for She's a Pearl to come down, and then obviously, well, she's fast to her thing. And it suited her too, being, she's had a couple of heavy races. She drew badly in Adelaide and got knocked about, but last she drew poorly in the Top Gun. To go back on what's her favourite track in a 4-dog race suited her as well. So both of them went round for a paid trial. It was a matter of who was best on the night for us.
Were you at all worried, Daniel? I'm sure you had a fair few thought process on how the race might pan out, especially with only 4 in the build-up. When She's Fast settled last, were you at all worried that the other 2 dogs just might make a checkered path for it?
No, I thought because she'd drawn 3, I thought even if she was a bit slow, I knew She's a Pearl would just jump and get out quick. So it was always just a matter of if she didn't begin on term, she was always going to be able to get that nice little trail behind She's a Pearl, which is pretty much what happened. The other 2, they don't tend to, they're not mad railers. They'll sort of stay a little bit deep and sort of work their way across. So she was always going to get that room, but I mean, she can't afford to do that in a heat of the Cup on Saturday, and expect to be able to win, because it just won't happen. I think she's probably, while she's fast I'm talking about, she's probably drawn 7, but the heat's certainly not as deep as what that she was up against in the 4-dog race. So she will need to jump, and I think she will, and hopefully get through. But talking about the match race, if She's a Pearl and Wow She's Fast don't actually qualify for the Melbourne Cup, there is a $30,000 match race on Cup final night. So if they were both to get into that, I mean, that would be unbelievable.
Hale's got a wry smile. When we've been doing those Facebook shows for the GRV, I was thinking 2-dog race. They're the greatest races they had, and even betting races are enormous.
Well, I'm just thinking here now, you watch that race, wouldn't it have been nice during COVID to have had a 4 or 5 horse race at wherever it was with Right High and Lochinvar to clash? I think it was Ballarat.
It could have.
How good was that?
Justin Lane actually mentioned Paul Rouse in the ownership. Yeah, I believe Ballarat had it all sorted, but for some reason they wouldn't change their laws. So it is written up that they won't have less than 6 horse fields. But
surely there's a condition there that says that
common sense
that you can override that. But
yeah. And like now, and you say that, and unfortunately now both one's at stud, the other horse in America. It'll never happen. They're trying to build it up.
So
now
many eyes were on racing at the time. It just would have been so dim.
Yeah, and it is. And it's funny because you say about COVID, this wasn't through COVID. Every person I know that's got any inkling at all with racing has watched this race.
Yeah, I'm just saying that watching the smaller field race, while we know we don't watch smaller fields, that's an advertised race. We don't program Little under 6 normally. but they have got it written out that if there's no other races you can put it on, or there's a reason to put it on, you put it on. But it just would have been nice to have seen that happen, just to showcase.
It could have been you and James Vandermeer. Those match races that you guys had on those Cup carnivals. But I bought into them. Yeah. I'd listened to both of yous, and if you all agreed, if all of yous agreed, I tend to have $5 a play, not the place, but $5 a win on the other dog.
Yeah.
Just because I'm thinking, well, there's a chance these guys are all got to be wrong.
The funny thing about it is we rarely agree on them. You can get 4 or 5 people. I reckon if we have
there's
three
always
opinions,
one
there's
odd
always one odd one.
Yep.
Because of the way the races are and who's going to suit it. And normally the leader wins those races, but the other day she was too good.
Yeah, they are great. And if you go to any Greyhound Cup meeting, I must recommend you go. And it's generally the race after the Cup too, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they are thrilling races. I don't know what they're like to call, Daniel. I mean, you seem to have plenty of time when you call a Greyhound race, but a 2-dog race, you could get into all sorts of trouble calling that's for sure.
No, it can be, but I mean, you've got a timing board, so you give it's a bit like giving out the quarters in a trot race, where they've gone through that first marker. So I mean, they're only sort of 30 seconds at the most over the 500, but certainly the match race that was at Bendigo on Bendigo Cup Night is probably the best one that I've been able to call, between Titan Blazer and Robbie Rotten. I thought it was an exceptional race, and whoever goes in that match race at Sandown on Melbourne Cup Night, you'd hope it's some of the ones that sort of can't get through to the final of the Cup, but it'll be a thrilling contest too.
When you think about it, there's probably 25 or 30 dogs that are sub 29, 30 dogs at the moment. The depth of the Melbourne Cup is just ludicrous. 29, 30 will win you the free-for-all 40 weeks of the year. There's probably 25 dogs will break that.
Just very quickly, on that race, I encourage people to go to the Watchdog. I've got to say thank you to GRV for allowing me to play that in its entirety too. I was given approval today, so I will say a big thank you to those. I've watched it 3 times. 66... And it did get to 2, but 66 for predominantly the back straight for Welshie's Fast. Like, how fast can they go? It went 66.2 Ks, but only fleetingly. But predominantly,
they probably average about 60 for a 500 metre race. But they'll touch the speed, the short courses, and they'll touch the Typhoon Semi going around breaking records of Bendigo. Will touch 70 Ks an hour, and probably average the best part of 63 or 64.
It's just addictive to watch that little speedo, because when you watch them live, you're like, well, that's a waste of time. But it's actually when you watch the replay over and over again,
the live data's no good. You
don't watch it. Just watch it. Just watch it.
When you watch the replay, and you can see those spurts. You can watch them. You can see some dogs will ease into the bend or cut down the bend and they'll actually slow up, and they'll take off again. Well,
that was Welshie's Fast. That's where she put herself in that race, was down the back straight, and she just got to 66. And as I said, it did touch 0.2. But it was pretty much the entire back straight. I was like,
the stayers are the stayers are the interesting ones to watch. You'll get the stayers that go straight to the front and can run, record splits and tire a bit. Compare the dog that just bludges out the back and then tacks on like a cyclist. That some of their run home times over 700 metres are nuts, because they've sort of just done what they had to do for the first 400 or 500. And then you compare the two of them, they sort of average up pretty much, but they've done it completely different. It's
different
just to look
way.
at those stats is enormous.
That's why they're good distance dogs. Yeah, and I encourage people to be able to watch that. Well, Alex Hurley, hello to you, Alex. And there was a 2-year-old trot, 2-horse 2-year-old trot in Adelaide this week. Lockie Stace, a new caller over there, he did a good job. They shocking things to call. I get into trouble when I call trials from time to time, because the things that I think of, I've got nothing to think of. It's just no good.
Well, I mean, as Dan said, when you're calling a 30-second one, you can't get in a hell of a lot of trouble compared to a 2-minute job. You've got to be pretty careful what you'd say, particularly if the names are a bit awkward.
Campbell's On Loose Lines is also available on YouTube. I'm not sure what to take out of this one, Daniel, but anyway, Matty Cooper, no golf chicken run tonight, so relaxing in the tub watching CC. Totally enjoyed New Zealand, great job. It's got me very worried, that whole conversation thing. I think it's all above board, but it's just...
I reckon there's other things I'd watch in the tub, but...
Well, what about the chicken run? Like the no golf chicken run tonight. So yeah. Anyway, he's obviously a mad golfer, but yeah, no, it's something very different. I wasn't expecting. Daniel, just quickly for you. Actually, no, stay on Sandown Park. You guys quickly go through Sandown Park. Hales has to go at some stage, but he'll be late for cricket, so there's no stress. But it is a big meeting. Troy, how many heats of the cup?
There's 8 heats of the cup. There's 4 heats of the bowl tree, so the maximum for both those. I think Dan, glad you're watching. Cup's worth $650 the winner. Bold Treese, Dan, is it a couple hundred to the winner?
I think it's 150,000, 175, something like that.
Yeah, so there's $1.5 million or so in prize money on the night. Probably pushing $2 million with all the other feature races on the night. But the Cup heats, most races, Dan, are pretty open. I think you're looking at apart from She's a Pearl being 220, and Wow She's Fast at 260, and she's only just fractionally ahead of Paddy Wants Patch. Most of the races are 350 and above the fields. There's plenty of depth in them. Zippy Tesla, Idolised, French Martini go around in the first of the heats, which is at 7:57 of Heat 5. McInerney, Baby JC, Amron Dan Amplified in race 6. And a lot of these dogs too are interstate dogs, been amplified, come across from Perth, as a few of the others have come down from Sydney. You've got Kelsey Bale. Dan, Kelsey Bale at the Meadows 2 weeks ago, or actually on Melbourne Cup Eve. I don't think I've seen a better win ever at the Meadows, and I reckon only Rapid Journey's national sprint win in Western Australia many years ago was a better win than what Kelsey Bale did, and since then it's just absolutely flying. Yeah,
that's all you hear about is that race at the Meadows 2 runs ago, and came to Sandown last week and absolutely flew out, but was certainly not as strong at the back end as she is at the Meadows for whatever reason. But that heat that she's in, that's race 7. That's clearly a heat of death. I mean, that is just as hard a race as you're going to get. I mean, if that was your field for the final, you'd be pretty pleased. Let alone a heat. It is chock full of depth, and there's many chances, and it will certainly all come down to luck in that heat.
She's a Pearl, got box 5 in race number 8. Plaintiff is absolutely flying in box number 4. You'd think she'd benefit from the run. I mean, Wentworth Park is a unique track, and she's done most of her racing. You'd think that She's a Pearl will benefit from the run last week. Not that there was anything wrong with it. She's 220, Plaintiff 290. One of those two, they should be going straight to the front. The pair of them, one of them should be winning.
Yeah, I'm pretty keen on She's a Pearl. I think I love the way she jumps last week. She went 5:08. If she can do that again, I think it's going to be really hard to beat. I like Plaintiff and I really like Desire, but I just get the feeling that She's a Pearl's a bit of different gravy than those two have sort of come up against. So if she can jump, and that's the key, obviously I think she's going to be right in the mix and should hopefully get through to the final.
19 minutes later as well, She's Fast, 260 currently in the market, ahead of Paddy Wants Patch 270. I think those two will dominate the race, but Wow She's Fast from box number 7. She is the one to beat.
Absolutely. I think she'll jump. She won't do what she did in the shootout. She did that. She did the same thing in the heat of the Sapphire Crown. She bungled the start slightly and then was able to recover and still win the heat. The next week in the final, she drew the yellow and she pinged out and went 28.82. I think she'll jump tomorrow. Jump on Saturday night. This field is nothing anywhere near what she's the top liners that she's raced against. Paddy Wants Patch is certainly a very good dog, particularly if he's able to jump and get out and lead. But I think she's just going to be too strong, and hopefully she gets through as well.
Race number 10, Amron Boy, awkwardly drawn in box 6, unfortunately. Gatlin showed blistering speed in the trial, running 5:03, 18:55 a couple of weeks back. And Typhoon Sammy back to his brilliant best. Obviously won the Bendigo Cup and then clocked 27.80 odd last week in a 500 there in box number 8. You throw in Hector Frawley, Salad Dodger, Titan Blazer. That's a terrific race as well.
Yeah, another one that's almost a heat of death as well. I feel sorry for Brooke Ennis with Amron Boy not being able to draw an inside box, but he was absolutely brilliant last week. My play here, I think Typhoon Sammy's a really big chance. Now, he's not going to be able to run a 29.20 or a 29.30. He won a heat for the Cup last year from a same draw, but with his amazing box speed, the ability to get across, I reckon if he can lead and any jam up underneath him, he might have a big enough lead to get away with this. So I reckon he's probably the each-way player of the night in that heat, because I think his box speed is going to put him right in the picture into that first turn.
Well, the last couple of heats you talk about depth is they're there as well. Dynamic Prince favourite off the red, Divine Empress and Vice Grip both be nice and hard to beat off gut straws. In the last heat you got Fernando Mick, Dundee Smokey, Quinlan Bale, Zipping Kyrgios, all in terrific form. And what about Boom Burst? Goes through the Battlers Cup series on Bendigo Cup night. and is now going around the Melbourne Cup heat.
A couple of weeks ago.
I mentioned that in the preview. Like for a dog that'll be running in a Tier 3 series back in October or October, to then qualify for the heat for the Melbourne Cup. I mean, it's quite remarkable in a sense. But it's certainly going well. And that last heat, I actually think probably I won't say the one I'm most keen on getting through to the final is Dundee Smoky. I think he's drawn perfectly in 2, and I think he's the one that I know it's in the last race, but I think he's the one that just maps as if he's going to be hard to beat, and he's the one I think will definitely get through to the final.
Very fast dog too.
There's a lot of agreements in the pair of you. There's a lot of highlighted stuff here. You'll be happy to know, Daniel. But there's a little bit of value, so I didn't mind that. Now I'm just looking 9:23. Wow, that's straight after Wow She Fast. You wouldn't want them to be running 5 minutes late in that race, will we?
No, I was really happy. That was the first thing I looked at when the fields came out. I thought, what time are these races on? And it's actually worked out really good for me.
Now, Daniel's a race caller. Now, he must hate some of the names that he gets. Well, She's Fast. Well, you tell me. I always butcher it. Hefestus Phoenix. Honestly, that's a horse that he owns going around in a Group 1 on Saturday night.
You didn't name it, surely?
No, I didn't name it, but he's cleverly named. I'm not going to go through the story now, but Hefestus Phoenix, and he's drawn 8 in the Group 1, and I'm quite confident that he's going to be right in the mix. We've had no luck at all with barrier draws of recent times in the Derby. And I'm thinking that barrier 8, we follow out Matty Craven on Cam, who has got a lot of gate speed, and they've got Plymouth Chubb and Harry Stamper drawn 2 and 3. So I think we'll be on the pegs, but I reckon if there's enough speed on and we're close enough, look out.
Got a great bloke on there, Mike Evans. I'll tell you, one day when we got a bit more time, about a random conversation myself and Cam Bray had in Kaikoura Hotel, just sitting down. Cameron was officially my bag carrier. Mike and his partner, Katie.
They're on a honeymoon?
Yeah, for 7 weeks.
7 weeks going to racetracks? Yep. How good's that?
Yep.
I have a 7-week honeymoon, but I was barred from the racetracks.
And they're coming over. They're actually coming over. It depends on where we do the show. We might be able to get them on live on the show. So
the internet, mate.
Yeah, they won't be far off. I mean, they've been sitting over there and enjoying themselves. Brad Steele from Queensland. Actually, Katie's on there as well. So Katie Parry Evans. Looking forward to hearing from Bag Boy Cam. So she's a little bit gullible, Katie, but it's made my day. I can tell you, she honestly thought he was a bag carrier. So she's a bit of fun.
Cam's reactions were great too.
Well, he's joined in.
He's raw barred.
The only problem is they call me Dora because the little backpack I had on the back of me, they started calling me Dora, which is a bit ordinary. I think I'm a little bit better than the Dora.
And Cam's the map.
No, he was just chiming in. That was
told
all.
Me you got no direction in New South Wales.
I had no directions. Oh, yeah, don't even go there. Don't even go there. Daniel, thank you.
Yep.
Good luck.
I've got to go, but geez, that kangaroo just carved out some sections on the track.
If
you didn't run 155, I'll give it away.
Troy's admiring our wildlife. Katie and Mike are probably watching. They're probably thinking, I'd like to see some kangaroos just come here. The problem we got is we put horses down the back paddock. So they normally stay down the back, but now because there's horses down the back, they just come up closer. So, they
come pretty close to our place about 3 o'clock this morning. There's one dog in particular, he barked until sunrise, and I don't think he likes the smell.
No, they are. We're not going to go there, but they are shocking things. They really are. They're mouse with a long tail. That's about all they are. So, yeah. Hales, get going.
Thanks,
I'll keep
Thanks
call.
very much. See you, Dan.
He's off to play cricket, Mr. Hibberd. Can you believe that?
Yeah, well, I'm out of action. Mind you, I think we've only had one game up here already because.
No, he's playing indoor stuff, I reckon.
Oh,
why didn't we do the show live from there?
Gotta go.
We'll do Daniel, I can see what's going to happen next time. We'll do the. See you, Hales. We're going to do the show live from out there. That'll be more fun.
He might last long in the middle, so we'll be able to keep talking to him.
What do you say? What are you saying? He's a little bit more rotund, mate?
Oh, well, I'm not getting into arguments about belts.
Hey, Daniel. Keep talking for 1 minute. I'm going to change seats, mate. I've just got to do a couple of things. This is not going to be the greatest of TV. I haven't got I haven't got another video, or I wonder what. Actually, hang on a sec. I wonder what I have got here. Which way do I go here? I was going to say, Marie, we're on camera, but we're not, because it actually wasn't Marie. Righto, give me 1 second, Daniel, and I'm going to do something, and I will be right back.
For every stage of your horse's career, find your edge with the Barristock Racing range of feeds.
We are back, almost back. Daniel, I've got to get my head back on the camera, back into my seat, and got everything covered here really, really well. Brittany Graham is on, Rachel Pace-Fino, Brad Steele, no short singles. I don't think he'll be doing the quick runs, that is for sure. Troy Harley, Brad Steele.
Boundaries or nothing.
Troy Harley and Brad Steele would get along actually very, very well. I think they're got a lot of New South Wales wouldn't believe that. I left the phone sitting up there on the bench, but that's okay. Anyone that watches what I do knows that it's totally unscripted. Peter Ramirio, hello to you, Pete. He tuned in last night to the Talking Trotters show as well. What else have we got going on, Daniel, in your world? Well, I've got you for a quick minute, but I have to get hold of Mr. C. Bray shortly too.
Yeah, no, I was on the way home from Bendigo, but stand down tomorrow night, then the Meadows Friday night, and then stand down Saturday night. So 3 nights in Melbourne.
I must say, Brittany is online there. She actually came over for Tuesday. I thought she was staying till show day. Did you happen to see the trot, like as an avid trotting man, did you see the trot with Sunday Sun and Muscle Mass over there, the Dominion Handicap? Did you happen to see that, Daniel?
Yeah, I was actually calling it at Bendigo when that was on. And, yeah, I mean, I thought Muscle back that into, well, what's his name,
Muscle Mountain. Is it
Muscle Mountain. I thought he had him under right. I thought he was just going to win. And then somehow Sunday Sun just kicked and was able to put his nose in front when he counted. Stunning race, absolutely stunning race. And, yeah, a brilliant performance.
It was. And the one thing I wanted to say, and, you know, it was a very, very special time over there for me. You haven't been. You want to try and organise so you can get across there. You know, it is a place to go. Anyone that loves harness racing will love it. Love your trotters. I reckon they're even that little bit special over there. It is. I don't know. It's quite unique. I'm sure Katie and Mike will agree, and a lot of other people that were there. Brittany was over there. It's unique how they, I suppose, embrace their horses, but. The feedback after that race, when they came back, those two, well, all of them, but just the response you saw, Natalie Rasmussen came out and patted Ben Hope on the back, Muscle Mountain it was, and the chest, and basically congratulated him because she said he didn't deserve to get beat. Not that he deserved to beat Sunday Sun because he's a champion. She wasn't taking sides. It was just more, how can you drive like that and still come up, you know, a millimetre short is just sad. So it was, it was a brilliant race, and I'm sure people that were there would be like me, talk about it for a long, long time. But he is just a super horse, Sunday Sun, mate. Again, being over there, get to see horses in a different light, if you like. He's a brute. You watch him on TV and you say, oh, he's a nice built trotter. You stand up alongside of him, mate, and he is a brute of a horse.
Yeah, TV doesn't sort of do justice to a lot of horses a lot of the time, and you see them win and you think, oh, just a good performance and good trotter or good pace, whatever the case is, but it's not until you get close up and you realise what sort of beast they are that you sort of get a bit of a bit more of an understanding of how good some of these horses are.
No, absolutely. Well, they are Mike Evans, best trot I've seen out of Europe. So he was there, and he actually was helping with. I'm trying to think where the horse was there. Matuatana, I think was the horse they were strapping for Paul Nahn. Unfortunately, wasn't on his best behaviour. What about actually, Daniel, on that race? 1:58 was their first lead. Well, that was their lead time, if you like. 2 mile race.
The lead time.
2-mile race, and they've trotted 58 their first mile. They got home in 2 minutes. I haven't got a horse that'll go 58 even close from a stand, let alone a high-class trotter. So, yeah, no, terrific race and really good. And really well done to New Zealand for everything that they did over there. I think it was just a cracking meeting, that's for sure. So, with a lot of fun. Got quite a few people on there. Any other highlights for the week, Daniel, before I let you go?
No, nothing. Just building up to a massive weekend. It's it's been a lot of fun last week on Saturday night with the racing.com coverage. I've had a lot of people mention the coverage and how good it actually was for the greyhound. It was, it was just non-stop, 20-minute gaps between the races. You sort of got 5 minutes to digest one race, a quick chat or whatever on what's happening on track, and then bang, 5 minutes, you're back into the next race. So really good following coverage, as I'm sure it'll be just as good this week and the next couple as well.
I got one for you, Daniel. You may not be aware, but Annalise Scott, who works for Chris Finozio and comes from no harness background at all, and Taylor French, who's been going to represent Victoria in the junior drivers, convinced her to get her licence. Actually drove a treble today at
a treble, yes. Did see that.
Three drives, 3 wins.
I heard the second race where she was able to lead and just get home. I didn't see the first one, but I definitely saw the third one. She was driving Ruslan. Yep. And heading down the back straight, I was thinking to myself, she's probably a fair way back here, but she knew what sort of horse she had and just letting stride down the back, got up to the wheels of the lead and turning to home, and then just put them away. Really heady drive. It was a really smart drive, and that was probably the peak of the 3 winners, I reckon.
I did send her a message about trying to get an interview for tonight's show pre-recorded. And she only rang me about 10 minutes prior to going live on the show, and I said, I haven't got time. And she's actually almost at Geelong Harness. She's going to be the swabbing steward there tonight at Geelong Harness. So she's doing the hard yards and she's having a crack, and I reckon that's great. So well done to her. And I'm sure her mum would be absolutely tickled pink. Kayleen, I think her mum is. Her name just escaped me. I think it's Kayleen. I don't reckon it is. But anyway.
You're hopeless with names.
Yeah, and it just left me. It might be Kayleen. Anyway, I'll get into trouble, but that's okay. I know another name that is on here, Debbie Hibberd. She says, good evening, boys. I wonder who she's talking to, Daniel. Have you spoke to Mum today?
Not today. No, not today. But,
be nice.
We'll be talking over the next day or so. I've got to work something out with Melbourne Cup, so... Mum and I have to be talking to Mum and Dad.
I was going to say, are you taking Dad down again?
Well, that's the question up for discussion, I think.
Nathan Butler says, good evening, and good evening to you, Nathan. Thanks for joining in the show and getting involved. That's what this show's about. We want people to get involved and go from there. Daniel, I am going to let you go because I have to get me mad mate from New Zealand on the phone. Thank you very much for joining me. Good luck Saturday night, and then good luck Saturday night as well. Hopefully you can have, 1, a great call, and then 2, better luck, or as much luck as if you like, at the Breeders' Crown, sponsored by Honest Street, which of course is Harassed Trotters. So yeah, good luck to you, good luck to everyone involved. There's plenty of Group 1 going around, mate, so hopefully you can get the chockies, and hopefully you have some good calls on Saturday night at Sandown.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be an amazing weekend, and yeah, it'd be nice to get a bit of luck in that Breeders' Crown race. It'd be nice to get a good result there.
Yep, Joe Pace is on there. Are we going to talk to Joe Pace, Daniel, or are we just going to, how do we go? Arch enemies all of a sudden?
No, I've got arch enemies at all. He's a very nice trotter. He's a very nice trotter.
He's a lovely trotter.
I just like to know if he's going to hand up.
Yeah, Joe. I don't reckon he'll get involved in that, but that's okay. If he does, Daniel, you keep watching the show, keep watching the comments and go from there. I think it was well done that he won. Interesting little side note, Daniel. The Williamsons, did you actually see, this is one for you, Brad Williamson, did you see what he did last week?
I did. I found that quite incredible.
So just for people who aren't aware, he drove at Maryborough on the Thursday. He would have drove Cup Day in New Zealand. He drove at Maryborough, so that's a Tuesday. He drove at Maryborough Thursday, Kilmore Thursday night. Unfortunately for him, missed the first race, but drove in the second race and about 4 other races at Show Day at Addington on the Friday. Huge commitment, and he was back here Sunday, I believe. He was going to, a funny thing, Daniel, I could talk to you for a while. They all enjoy a little bit of a drink on the Saturday. They go to Riccarton for the, presume it's the Addington Cup. I don't think it's a New Zealand Cup. I think it's the Addington Cup, but it might be a New Zealand Cup, thoroughbred version. And let their hair down and have a bit of fun. And they got 4 races in, and unfortunately the track was deemed unsafe, and they had to call the whole meeting off. So I don't know how that affected everyone for their party. It's sort of like their Christmas party. They all go there and get together and have some fun. So anyway, unfortunately for everyone involved, the gallops were called off. So I know a lot of people weren't happy about it. They had to go back Monday. So people that were working had to go back on the Monday and couldn't let their hair down on the Saturday night too much. And but anyway, that's all good and well. So yeah. All right, mate. Let you go.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Good luck Saturday night. Thank you very much for joining me. Can you do me a favour? Can you hang up, because I've left the phone. I've got to get the phone. I'm going to get the phone very, very quickly. I'm going to actually throw another ad. I've worked out how to do these things, so it is all good. All right, mate. Thank you.
See you, mate. See you.
Woodland Stud takes pride in their involvement in the industry, both on and off the track, supporting harness racing through sponsorship from grassroots to feature racing, giving breeders access to world-class stallions who go on to produce world-class racehorses, selling progeny at sales from some of Australasia's strongest families. Harness racing is our passion, and we will continue to strive for greatness. Your success is our success. Share the dream with Woodland Stud.
All right, we are back. Good evening to you too, Nellie Melba. It's not too late. It's a lot later in New Zealand. I've just got to hopefully the great man. I have to get rid of that. He won't be able to do that.
Hello.
Cameron.
Yes.
How are you this evening, Cam? We've got lots of people. I have a lady that logged in for the first time, Amanda Bray. I think as soon as she saw your name, she was like, "We better see what he's up to."
Well, she'll be like a lot of the other fans around Australasia that just dial in to hear the dulcet tones of themselves.
You sound a little bit rough, mate. You sure you're okay for the show?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'll battle through.
Soldier on.
I'll soldier on.
What is going on at the minute? Very quickly over there, we're at Karaka, and there's a bit going on.
Yeah, so we've just completed the day one of the ready to run sale for 2-year-olds in training over here.
Yep.
So no, it's very good actually. First time we've been able to have international guests back here for a sale in over 2 years. So good to see everybody.
Is it a good turnout?
Yeah, it is a good turnout, particularly from a lot of the different Asian countries. A lot of people from Hong Kong, Singapore, and then like even Malaysia and China, etc. Yep.
And that is key. Cam, I wanted to get you on just quickly. Done something wrong there. Where's your audio waves gone? Anyway, got your little picture on there. I might have to just go back. I'm trying to set things up with you. A bit of a recap, I suppose, on New Zealand and just exactly how big it actually was. And I think a lot of people wouldn't realise exactly how big the fortnight is, if you like, and the I suppose the economical boost for harness racing in New Zealand and racing as well.
Well, you can probably attest for how big the fortnight is. It's a big go, isn't it? It's a hugely important part a week when you use harness racing in New Zealand. From the punting perspective alone, it's probably our biggest money-making week we have. Cup Day itself was a 25-year record. which had turned over into the late 7 millions for the day. This excludes export, so that doesn't include any of that yet. But look, we took over there was over $2 million in bets done on the New Zealand Cup alone. So,
yep. Yeah.
And then what it's done is it flows into a midweek meeting we had in Hibberd, which, as you'll know, Paul, was for lower grade horses. And look, that generated 1.6 million in turnover. And then go back to show day, and that turned over just short of $4 million. And again, see, all these figures are excluding the export as that comes in differently. But hugely important for us in the game, and it's good to see that it's up, and it's very positive for us, you know.
Yeah, and there's a little bit to be said about it should be up, and you know, some people sort of say, well, what else would you expect? But it had to be up. It needed to be. You know, we need positivity, if you like. There's a lot of people, both sides of the ditch, if you like, are happy to kick harness racing and kick it while it's down. But I think the way you guys promoted it, included the Aussies. I think there was a lot of buy-in then once you got the two Aussie horses coming across. Probably didn't work out for Mick Stanley as he would have liked. Majestic Cruiser also probably didn't work out as they liked, but I mean, he performed sensationally on both occasions. Rock and Roll Do was good on the last one, but galloping out that first time. But just the incredible, I suppose, you know, boost, if you like, from that stake money turnover to be the richest or the highest collective turnover. That's I'm right, aren't I, on any meeting? Yeah.
So New Zealand turnover, New Zealand highest turnover events in the last 25 years. 7 of those are Addington Cup Day events.
Yep.
So, yeah, look, we actually lead that out, but that is our single biggest day. The gallopers sort of get it over us for the rest of the time. But what it actually means is we go now, well, the management of Harness Racing New Zealand will go into talks with the TAB to sort of fight for their share or their piece of the pie, so to speak. And it does help when we have positive figures like that. And I know it's unfortunate and very sad for the galloping friends, but they lost their big race day. And it's now, I think, one of 15 or 16 other race meeting abandonments for the thoroughbreds in New Zealand over the last 12 months.
Yep. Which is not good.
So it does, well, it's not good for them, but it plays well for the harness because we don't seem to have abandonments like that.
No. We got Mark Gurry on. I'm pretty sure Mark Gurry owns the horse of Cam Kirkwood's, actually. So good to see Mark on there. The trotter that John Justice trains. Help me out, Cam.
Oh, Mufasa Mestro?
Yes, that's him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the same Mark Gurry who actually bought him. He's having a good run. He's in on Friday night, I think, in a pretty good field as well. Cam, we've got Nathan Butler sent a message through. How good was it to see me old mate Prince Tiki run them off their legs at Ashburton? What a wonderful old marvel he was. I don't reckon I was there for that race, Nathan, or if I was, it didn't join, but congratulations. And I must say, what a great meeting Ashburton is, and it complements that whole fortnight, if you like, of your cup meetings, doesn't it?
Well, it does too, but it also gives those class of horses a run because, as you full well know, the harness racing ecosystem, we'll call it, there is a large number of horses in that grade that potentially just get put to a side for a fortnight. So it's good for them to get a run because we now basically turn to them now for the rest of the summer.
Yep, to be able to deliver the job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
But no, like, you know, Cup and Show Week, you've experienced, Paul, it's a huge economic thing for Christchurch alone, and there's something on every day of the week, isn't there?
Oh, it's good fun, and I just had Troy Harley, and we're talking about the greyhounds. I was talking to a couple of those guys. You know, any racing person just should be there. You got 3 days at Rickett and Thoroughbreds. You had 3 high-class greyhound meetings, and I think you would say, well, we had 4 trot meetings, and then also if you put Kaikoura and that the week before, plus the trial day, you probably had 6 to 7 quality harness meetings. 3 high-class thoroughbred meetings, and I think it was 4 greyhound race meetings that were all high-class. If you can't get enough racing out of that, you're kidding yourself. And just a lot of fun. Like myself and Mark Hughes and Cameron Grant, we went to the Greyhounds. Thought we wouldn't know anyone. There was trotting guys everywhere, racing people everywhere, enjoying the night. It's so much fun just to be a part of, such a fun carnival and done so well.
Well, and also the way it works out Cup Week, that you end up with such a cross-code buy-in because generally on the days that they're not racing, they use that as their social event.
Yep.
Like being Friday, there was a lot of thoroughbred trainers on course show day. And then obviously, I think I heard you mention Cup Day at Riccarton is the last day of the carnival, and the harness boys do use that to sort of let their hair down.
I had a great conversation with the best shirt wearer. I'm not going to say the best dressed man, but that's for sure. But Crandall Getty, the boots he wore on Cup Day were atrocious. But Matthew Cooper. Sorry, just got sidetracked. But he was saying it's almost his Christmas party, and he says he looks forward to just going into the cars and the boots and sitting at the back and enjoying their company. And I said, whose car do you go to? He goes, no one's. And you imagine Cran just rocking up to some of those. But yeah, it was something fun. I wonder how he ended up once they called the meeting off. How Cran actually ended up on that day.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised because hearing from some of the members on the jockey club, I think they just carried on as per normal, just there was no races.
which most of them don't know the races are on anyway.
No, and you sort of feel sorry for them, the club itself, because they spend a lot of money on infrastructure, and basically they lose the races. They lost their income, so they basically said for everyone just to stay on. Enjoy yourselves, because I don't know if you watched it on Monday, but there was no one there on Monday.
No, there wasn't. I did see that. Pogger's joined in, Steve Salter. Good luck to him on Saturday night with Raw for Roscoe. Juanita Breen has got a lovely little horse that gives a really, really good crack, and he's giving him a great thrill. It's named after a mate that passed away, and the Raw for Roscoe, and he ran second. I think the other night they made more of a Raw than anyone else didn't win. Matty Cooper, Cam, I'm glad to hear he's out of the bath and now having a cold frothy on the couch. He said, my Wednesdays can't get any better. We've got to get the boy a life, Cam, I think.
He's not travelling too good if he's listening to you, rabbit on for about an hour every Wednesday.
I don't go. Oh, it is an hour. I was going to say I don't go for an hour anymore, but yeah, no, I definitely tend to. Cam, I'm going to let you go because the voice is killing you. Thank you for joining me. We will be back with the New Zealand show. There's going to be a lot more New Zealand content coming on Campbell's Comments with the help of yourself, Emily Morgan, and the crew at Harness Racing New Zealand. So stay tuned here for plenty more content, including
context.
So anyone reading Pogger's little comment that he goes there, cheers, Paulie. Oh, no. Yeah, I might have called him Pooga the other day, but I don't think that is actually. I think he is just that nervous, which is actually a good thing. No, I think it might be a byproduct of, he's more affectionately known as Pogger, but I spelled it Pooga, which anyone that knows I can't spell. Yep, and he's got there pooing my dacks already.
You're the only man. You're the only man I know who can spell Paul wrong.
Yeah, consistently too.
Now tell me, I heard earlier on there's a bit more connotation about me and the bag man. I just want to clear things up here about that.
Mike and Katie are on and watching, and I'm going to get them on the show. I think I'm not going to declare my hand, but if Hales is going to go down and play club cricket on a Wednesday evening, I'd stay tuned to On Loose Lines. And if I can get Mike and Katie, we could get a Welsh commentator on the cricket while it's being played doing On Loose Lines next Wednesday night.
You want to give her the races first because, that was quite a good night. Quite a good night we had at Kaikoura.
This is a true story, isn't it? They basically, and well done to them, they were travelling around, but they introduced themselves to us, and we were going to have a quick feed and go to bed. 3 and a bit hours later, They'd given us.
Yeah,
I think they gave
yeah.
us. Didn't they give us the bill twice? I reckon they were sort of like, come on, you obviously didn't see the first one, and they come and gave us the second one, trying to get us out of there.
We drew the line when the lady was trying to mop around our table. We sort of got the message there when they were mopping the floor.
But good fun, and that's what I think that's set from my point of view. Going to Kaikoura pretty much set me up that this is a great carnival, even before I suppose appreciated it, if you like. It really did set off what was a great week, didn't it? Fortnight,
Well, it did,
12 days.
Yeah, it did, and it made it all the more special when they basically guaranteed us a trip to Wales or to Europe for that race meeting they were talking to us about.
Yep, and Katie's still watching, so she's happy for next Wednesday night if they're in the Bendigo area to go out and watch Hales. Go from there. Wouldn't it be good if Hales done a hamstring? I had Brad Steele on there before about no short singles. I'm tipping there'll be a few people cheering him on if he happens to go no good. But that'll be pretty funny. I assumed he was just playing indoor cricket, but no, she's the outdoor stuff. So yeah, must be 2020 or something. But a little bit of fun anyway. So yeah.
No, good. Very good, Paul.
All right, mate. I'll let you go. Your husky voice is killing you. I will let you go. They're going to be in Queensland next week, so they are here in Australia. Go to the Queensland races. Katie, I'll hook you up with Brad Steele and a few of the guys up there, and they will look after you sensationally. We'll make sure they do. When you get to Albion Park, they'll give you a good time there. Make sure you enjoy the races. And Jeffrey Dixon, thank you very much for my New Zealand coverage. Cup for the fortnight. It was enjoyable. It was made enjoyable by the likes of Cam Bray and the entire staff at Harness Racing New Zealand, plus all the participants. I got knocked back on, I'm going to say 2 interviews, Cam, and that's fair to say, but effectively I got one that was knocked back. I won't say the person's name. The second one was just a little bit random. What was it? Gone West. We'll just leave it at that, won't we, Cam? But yeah, it was a bit random that whole day, but we ended up catching up with that person, but not on the day we were hoping to.
You got to have the odd bloody hiccup along the way. If that's all that went wrong, that's not too bad, I wouldn't have thought.
No, but I will say well done to everyone there for...
No one picked up, several police infringements or anything like that.
Oh, no, unlike when someone else come to Australia, but that's a whole story for another day, isn't it? And
if they come asking, just say I've moved, will you? I gave them your address.
Thank you very much, Cameron. You're a champion. All right, mate. Thank you. We will get ourselves in a whole world of hurt. Breeders' Crown, will you be tuning in over the weekend? Probably a bit late for you guys.
Yeah, no, mate. I will be, mate. Yeah, I will be.
Yeah.
I will be. It's a shame. I think we talked about it. It's probably a bit of a shame how it all falls on top of each other. But the change of season, the way everything's worked out, you just got to jam everything in such a short space of time now.
Yeah, you do. There's some good trot races on. Quite a few Kiwis in. Of course, Aldebaran Keeper, who is just going terrific for the Wallace Hackett camp. They'd be absolutely wrapped with it. Tricky draw, but she's won the Oaks. She's won the bracelet, and now she's going to win the Breeders' Crown. And there's nothing to say that she won't. She'll be flying the flag pretty highly for you guys. But also Major Parry. Katie, be on that one, you reckon?
She'd have to be the Gypsy Queen.
Yep, the Gypsy. She'll be all over that. So yeah, don't worry one bit at all. All right, mate. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll do a quick wrap of the show with everyone else. But thank you for joining me, Cam, and we'll catch up again very shortly, mate.
Go on, mate.
Cameron Bray there signing off, and I must say huge thank you to everyone in New Zealand because I was treated very, very well. But I encourage everyone to get out there and have a look around because it is awesome. And anyone that's been to Kaikoura, I got there on the Monday and it was just a great carnival, very, very well run. They also had a cocktail party. They had a breeders' night as well. Every day there is something going on, and thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm sure most of the participants over there do as well. Got to put on top of that too, there was also a I don't understand. My brother is a major, so definitely have a go on Major Parry for Katie Parry. But I don't understand the first one. Cam, You little devil, my not toa is. I'm not exactly sure if that's a spelling mistake or what exactly is going on there, but that's okay, Katie. Keep going. They had a fire at Woodend Beach, and I think there was something like 130 or 140 horses in the vicinity, and they removed them. And on a little road, little narrow road, they managed to be able to get them all out of there. And then 2 days later, they were all back. And one of those horses was Sunday Sun for the Duns, who ended up winning on show day. There was a horse that was affected by the fires that actually won on the Cup day as well. So it didn't affect the horses. Oh, Hopes, of course, Majestic Mountain. The fire started right behind their place. So, yeah, there was a lot going on and it was terrific. Katie and Cam are going to have their own conversation, so it must be Welsh instead of the spelling mistake, I think, is what he's having a go at you, Katie, there. But, anyway, it's all good, and you meet lots of people and have fun. So I highly, highly recommend it, and I will be doing more. Must say huge thank you to all my sponsors. Woodland Stud, of course, they looked after me sensationally over there, celebrating 30 years of breeding. Nutrient, got the Nutrient hat on. Haven't changed any of my hats. I've got a heap of hats. Wait till next week when I can sit down, or anyway, I'll work out a time if I'm at doing the cricket, well, that won't happen. Nutrient, don't forget the Nutrient sale at Bathurst, the Gold Crown. Entries are closing on the 23rd, and while I'm getting that up, I will try to find out when the 23rd is. It is very, very, very close. Next Wednesday. Okay, so entries are open until next Wednesday, so Bathurst. So make sure you get involved with that. I'm going to try and do some promotions next week, even in the next couple of days, actually, with a couple of people that have got horses in and around that sale, and make sure it's been very, very well received. That is for sure. So that is the Bathurst Gold Crown. Don't forget the Nutrient. Go to nutrient.com.au. The catalogue is online now and goes to the printer after Breeders' Crown. So it will be in the printers as of Monday morning with the all regular updates, because otherwise you miss all the Group 1s, and will be sent out in December. It will be there. I'll be getting it out, plus the NZB catalogues. Cam will be getting those to me. They've also gone to the printer this week, I believe, as well. So lots going on in the sales catalogues area and the sales area, which is where I enjoy it. Safety specialists. I had all my shirts on, all the shirts I had there with the massive C for Campbell's Comments. It was all brought to you by Darren Aiken, 0400 309 902. Don't forget to get in touch with him. Horseland Bendigo for all your horse needs here in Bendigo. Kylie Balaz. Barristock. Got the Barristock jacket on. Don't forget to enter the favourite foals.com.au, donated by Barristock. Competition to win $3,000 travel voucher. Going to be drawn very shortly too. I saw that the other day, so make sure you get involved in that. And then also my friends at Harasta Trotters, who of course are standing on a streak this year for the first time in Australia at Cobbity Farms. Make sure you go and check him out, and all of the other horses out at not that one. Not sure which one it is, but this one will have it on there, harassthetrotters.com.au or cobbityequine.com.au, eligible for the Trotters Classic for Harass the Trotters. Big wrap from the show, pretty sure Kath McIntosh's incentives, don't forget those. Raging Bull, Yankee Rockstar, Poster Boy and Lather Up for the Pacers, and Pastor Stephen. Breed to any one of those 5 horses and you're eligible for $100,000 bonus if they win the Vic Bread, which we run Christmas time this year. So, and that is not until, better just check that, 2026. So breed your foal this year, and we'll be eligible for that then. Huge thank you to all my sponsors. Actually, I have one more too. Well done to Bendigo Harness Racing Club and Oxley Feed Mills for getting behind and sponsoring the Veteran Drivers Race. It is not the Legends Drivers Race, it is actually the Veteran Drivers Race. And these guys are legends of our sport. There's no problems there, but official title is the Veterans. And well done to those guys for getting behind them. Oxley Feed Mill's going to call in and see the guys. Must say a huge thank you to their sponsorship to harness racing. They only sponsor one race a year. They love it. COVID came through. They stopped. COVID's gone. They're back in and getting behind it. So well done to all the guys there as well. So, rightio. That's about it. been a big show, huge lot of Group 1 racing. Not going to go through all the fields over the weekend. It is massive. There's horses going anywhere. Anyone that's got a horse going around in it, good luck to you. Hopefully it all goes well. Big thank you to Troy Harley for coming into the show tonight. Daniel Hibberd, of course, joining me, and Cam Bray. Next week we'll have some more guests and some more interviews. But I want to just say a big thank you to everyone for their kind words from my New Zealand trip. I really have appreciated it. Enjoy people coming in. It's an unscripted show. It's random. I have the New Zealand show, which is a little bit more structured, and Talking Trotters, which I went live last night. Might go back to going live with it on Facebook and YouTube. We'll just see how it goes. But yeah, I appreciate everyone. This show is not meant to be taken seriously, and I know most people that watch it don't. But I do have a lot of fun. Katie must have dropped out for a minute because she's back watching, but that's okay. It'll be all fine. All right, that's a wrap for the show this week. See you all next week for On Loose Lines. Thank you very much for joining me.